Well, a decision is made. Lane Kiffin has accepted the job to coach Louisiana State University to try to turn the program back around. But I'm here to tell you, you may be caught up in the Lane Kiffin hype, but here at D9J Sports, we're not caught up in it at all. I'm going to break this thing down and I'm going to tell you exactly why it's the biggest mistake that the LSU Tigers are going to make. Hiring Lane Kiffin, hoping that he can turn the ship around when it just won't happen. Let's get right into this thing. Well, as I'm sure you know, Lane Kiffin is taking a job at Louisiana State University. He'll be leaving Ole Miss and headed out to Bayou Country, right about 3.5 hours away from the 409 to try to turn the LSU Tigers and the LSU Tiger program around. There's a lot of hype surrounding Lane Kiffin. Here at D9J Sports, I don't really understand why. I don't understand why. Now, I will tell you that Lane Kiffin has done a good job at Ole Miss, but in my mind, and the truth about it all is, I know that in bowl games, Lane Kiffin is 5 wins and 4 losses. Where his predecessor, although Brian Kelly has coached for 22 years, he's 10-6 in bowl games. He's 10-6 in bowl games. But for some reason, unannounced to me, everybody seems to think that Lane Kiffin is going to be the savior. Well, I'm telling you right now, that will not happen. Let's jump into the reasons why. Well, Lane Kiffin, the number one thing I know that, he want to be able to pay his players. We know that he can pay his players better at LSU, and it's a recruiting thing. But I'm here to tell you, man, it ain't going to make that big of a difference. It's not going to make that big of a difference because you still, in where he's at in Louisiana State University, man, the Texas A&M Aggies and the Texas Longhorns, they're right around the corner. I'm telling you, they're right around the corner. And most of the kids from around here that are big-time players, they're going to want to go to UT. They're going to want to go to Texas A&M. That's where they want to go at. That's where they want to go at. Now, Lane Kiffin taking this job, it leaves a lot of holes. I don't care if Lane Kiffin coaches Ole Miss or whatever, but that's going to leave a little taint for the kids to be thinking, man, at any minute he can leave. Now, I know what you're about to say. Coach, pump your brakes. Well, now I'm not pumping my brakes because Lane Kiffin has switched jobs over and over again. And once again, Lane Kiffin hasn't won anything. Now, I will be up in arms and I will be excited for the LSU Tigers if for some kind of way they had conjured Nick Saban out. A true champion, a winner. I would be definitely up in arms about it. I'd be happy about it, man. Nick is going to come back even though he had to leave Allen and go down and try to turn the LSU around. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, it isn't that big of a difference between Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly. I will tell you, and I'm not a fan of either one of them. I don't dislike them, but I will tell you probably Brian Kelly is probably a better coach. Now, when it comes to recruiting, I would say that probably he's probably a little bit better recruiter than Brian Kelly. He's a younger guy than Brian Kelly, but I'm telling you right now, it's not going to make the difference that the LSU fans, that they think that's going to happen. So now all of a sudden, I guess when they got getting Lane Kiffin, they think all of a sudden that Alabama, Texas A&M, Texas, and all those other SEC teams are just going to crawl up under a rock and hide. They're not going to crawl up under a rock and hide because they got Lane Kiffin. They're not going to crawl up under the rock and hide because LSU's getting Lane Kiffin, and all of a sudden that makes them the greatest thing since sliced bread. It will not be happening. The other teams are good. That's going to put more pressure on the other coaches to make sure that they recruit. We already know what Longhorn Nation can pay. We know what Texas A&M can pay. And so many more schools that are right here. You already see how OU has a hell of a defense. They have a hell of a defense. And, man, you know, kids around the Dallas area, it's going to be hard to swim to go to Louisiana when they can go right up the street. You know how close it is from the Dallas area to head up. If you could play for South Oak Cliff or some of those schools up there, do you know how quick it is for you to go to OU? It's right up the street for you to go to OU to play some football. Not to go down to LSU. So things have changed. It's not the old day, man. You can change your football team in one season with the portal and the amount of money you play. And the kids are paying attention. Now, I've sit back and watch LSU. I sit back and watch LSU. I watched them yesterday. They don't have much. And the one position that they don't have much is at the quarterback position. Well, all the other schools in the SEC, man, all the other schools in the SEC have something. Unless, I don't know what Trinidad Chambliss is, but he's not taking Trinidad Chambliss with him. So he's going to have to deal with that unless he's going to try to go out and get somebody out the portal. And chances are you're going to have to pay a whole bunch of money to get you a quarterback out the portal because Texas A&M, they've got a hell of a quarterback in Reed. The Texas Longhorns and Arch, keep my name out your mouth, Arch Manning. They've got some quarterbacks that in the SEC that can play. And he's going already behind the 8 ball because he's not going to be able to get the quarterback because the other teams are going to have a top-notch quarterback. And they've got coaches that I will tell you right now that are just as good or probably better than him. So LSU, it isn't going to be what you think it is. I don't care if Ryan Clark and all them guys who play for LSU tell them you go out there, things are going to be different. It won't be different. And this time next year, when the LSU Tigers are going to have a worse record than they had this season right here. Mark my word, we're going to come back. The LSU Tigers will be worse next season and the next season. How long are you going to give him? Can't keep paying all this money to these coaches. LSU Tigers. You probably should have just stuck with the man who was the damn fill-in coach and swallowed your pride. He's already a head coach and give him a chance. But no, you don't want to do that. You didn't want to do that. You want to go out and get the splash. You want to go out and get the fancy new car. The fancy new car, that's what you wanted to go out and get. But that ain't going to help you none in the long run. That's not going to help you none in the long run. So LSU Tigers and LSU Tiger fans, Lane Kiffin, he's on his way. He's on his way. But I'm telling you right now, it will not be what you LSU fans are thinking it's going to be. And you're going to know, man, that guy, D9J Sports Coach Allen, he told us this last year on the day Lane got hired. And man, this is about to be a disaster. A disaster in the making. This is Allen with D9J Sports. I'm definitely OU